Hi there guys, Tom Quell here for Sound Effects Premiere in Ormskirk, back to do another demo today, and this is the MEL9, and this is from Electro Harmonix. Now we've looked at a few of this range of pedals before at Sound Effects Premiere. Really great sounding, very cool, fully featured pedals that essentially take the MIDI guitar concept and allow you to do it with just a jack plug, nothing else, okay? You don't need any converters, pickups, 13-pin cables, any of that madness. You just need your standard guitar jack straight into the pedal, okay? So here is the MEL9. You heard it a little bit at the beginning. This pedal basically simulates the sound of the old kind of tape-based Mellotron synths. So kind of crushed, old school sounds, really, really cool. Nice for kind of retro sounds if you're into that kind of thing. And a really good addition to the range. Now, as with all of the pedals from this range, you essentially get 4 control knobs. You've got your dry volume, your effect volume, and on this particular pedal, attack and sustain, which basically change the attack, so how quickly the note swells in, and then the sustain is how quickly the note dies out after you've stopped playing, apart from on the brass sound, which it's got slightly different features on, which we'll hear later on. Okay, then we've got the selection knob here for the actual sound that we want, and we've got here 9 sounds: orchestra, cello, strings, flute, clarinet, saxophone, brass, low choir and high choir, and then a bypass. This is buffered bypass because of the nature of the pedal. And then in terms of inputs and outputs, we've got a standard input, just a mono jack from the guitar, that's all you need. And then we've got effect and dry outputs. Now the effect and dry outputs, the effect output basically gives you the affected signal, so the synth, and the dry signal in one cable. So you can control the amount of dry and affected signal that you want within your signal path. Or you can split them, and if you do, you use the dry output to send the guitar signal to an amplifier, then you might want to send the affected signal through to a PA, for instance. Because guitar amps, and I'm using this Roland Blues Cube here, great sounding amplifier of course, but they're very mid-range heavy, the nature of kind of guitar speakers. So you might want to send it through a PA so you get a slightly more natural kind of synth sound. For today's demo, we're running everything through this Blues Cube, mic'd up with an SM57, and I'm using this Music Man Cutlass guitar, really nice guitar. All of these things are obviously available at Sound Effects Premiere. Okay, so first of all, just let me show you the controls. So we're on the orchestra sound. Let me show you the dry and effect volume differences. So at the moment, we've just got the affected signal, so the synth sound. And you can see the tracking is really good, even without kind of 13-pin cables and converter pickups and stuff, it tracks really, really, really well. If you play a really complicated chord, it might have a few issues. But if you play triads, for instance, if I just play a G major triad, no problem at all. Okay, it's perfectly fine at doing that kind of thing. Now, if I bring the dry signal in and take the effect out, what you'll hear now, there's my guitar signal. Okay, so I can bring these in together and blend between them using this effect output. So if I want guitar in there as well, which is sometimes very useful for the clarity of the effect, and it's just nice that you can do that. You could blend, and if you use the dry output as well, you could then send your guitar through all sorts of effects like choruses and reverbs and delays for some massive sounds, so very cool feature. Okay, so obvious what those do. The attack and the sustain, if I bring the attack up all the way, now I'm going to bring the dry volume down, just bring the effect volume down a touch. With the attack all the way up, bring that up a little bit, you can hear it swells in. So if I play a chord, it's got that swelling sound going on, which is kind of cool. Now the sustain, if I bring the sustain all the way up, now we get this. It fades out naturally, basically, which gives you more of a kind of orchestral sound. That's not something you can do very easily on the guitar, so it's great that you've got that feature on there. So you can balance between those. This will work for any of the sounds. Now, as I move through the sounds, let's go to cello now and see what that sounds like. We'll have the attack and sustain set around 12 o'clock, which is fairly neutral. Now, the other thing to note is that bends and vibrato work. They're tracked really, really nicely. You get all of those kind of things in there as well. It's not just for kind of monophonic, kind of straight sounding synth sounds. It's as if you've got a pitch wheel as well, which is super cool. Okay, so that's the cello. Let's go to strings now. So lots of kind of orchestral style patches. dynamics are tracked as well, so if I play soft, you can hear it was raising up and following my dynamics there as well. Okay, let's continue. Let's go to the flute sound, so number 4 here. Nice and cool. That will work great with a lead sound as well on the guitar, if you had some overdrive, just to give you a different sound. Now we get clarinet as number 5. You know, the tracking's just as good on the low strings as well, which is often a problem that you'll find with synth converters or MIDI converters for guitar. Now if we go to saxophone number 6. Let's just bring the attack all the way down. And then we get brass. Now, the attack and sustain do something slightly different here, so I want to demonstrate those on this particular sound. Now, if we increase the attack, what you can hear is it's softened the attack. It's not changed the actual attack time, it's softened the sound, so it's like blowing more softly. Really cool sound, actually. Then as we bring the attack halfway down, and then all the way down, you get, again, quite a variety of different sounds from that. Now the sustain is the amount of lip buzz that you get. Now if we bring that down, you can hear it's less shrill in the attack, so there's less of that kind of lip buzzing sound that you would get if you had an embouchure on a mouthpiece, for instance. Okay, so if we keep going, let's go to low choir. We've got 2 more sounds, so this is the low choir. Very cool, and again, tracking all of my chords really, really well. Very almost instantaneous as well, no latency here at all. Then if we go to high choir, same kind of deal. You can hear the timbre has changed there slightly. This is a kind of slightly more open sounding choir. So really, really cool. Lots of cool sounds on there, especially if you're into the retro sound. If you like your old school synth sounds, this is really a great pedal to get for you. And there's lots and lots of versatility in there in terms of the sounds that are available. So that is the MEL9 from Electro Harmonix. My name's been Tom Quayle. I hope you enjoyed this demo, guys, and I will see you next time.